had a bit of an informal line of mould making videos on my channel over the years, and that's because I've sort of slowly been improving my skills in this. Mould making is one of those things that can be quite tricky depending on what it is you're trying to mould. And while I do a lot of mould making on my channel, a lot of those are just simple one-piece pour moulds. I have done a number of two-part moulds, and I've always found there's some sort of drawback with these moulds, you know, and if you've been watching the channel for a while, you've seen me struggle with various methods of trying to get these sort of perfect casts, and maybe that's actually an impossibility in mould making, but nevertheless this is my latest iteration of mould making. So in this video we're going to be moulding this sculpture, which you may recognise from a while back. This video is actually from about a year or two ago. The reason I haven't actually posted it in a while is obviously I did move away from YouTube for a little bit, but also because I got a little bit stuck with the paint scheme for this creature as well. Obviously that isn't the main thrust of the video, nevertheless you do need some good sort of publicity shots for your video, and so not having a finished painted cast was a bit of a blocker as well. Might seem a little bit trivial, but it took me a while to actually get something that looked cool with this. So anyway, that's the reason for the delay. So in this video we're going to be looking at making a two-piece mould of this sculpture. So the first thing to do is to attach this to a bit of board, and I've got some foam here which I'm going to actually rest the sculpture on. The reason for that is I don't want to destroy the detail of the side which is facing down, and so just having something soft that it can lean on is very handy. As you can see, I'm also putting some cling film in there, and that's just so that the clay that I'm going to put around the sculpture won't mess up the sculpture basically. Obviously you can clean that off, but it's just more cleanup that you don't need. So I'm just hot gluing everything in place and making sure that it's all straight. And now what I'm doing is coming in with some clay, and I'm going to build up a wall around the sculpture, and that will form the separation between the two halves of the mould. Now one of the things I got wrong pretty quickly with this was the clay I'm using here is just really soggy. It's just too wet for what I actually needed. I think this is actually wed clay, which is a type of clay which has had some additives added to it to allow it to stay wet for longer, which didn't work in my favour here because I wanted the clay to dry out, and obviously it's formulated to not do that, so that was a little bit annoying. But nevertheless, what I'm doing here is building up a wall around the sculpture, and that's going to meet the edge of my sculpture and form the separation between the two halves of the mould. So what I'm doing here is just sort of building up a nice flat surface around the sculpture. Now I'm not really a fan of making moulds, to be honest with you, so this was already a bit annoying, so having the clay being really soggy was also made it even worse. Nevertheless, I've sort of persevered through, and as you can see here I'm using a paintbrush to start smoothing out the wall that I've created. The reason I use water-based clay here is because you can obviously clean this away with water very easily, so it's quite easy to get a nice edge to the edges of your mould here. It's also got a smooth surface around the sculpture. I'm just putting in some bits of pipe here, and these are going to serve as air outlets for my mould. If these weren't in place, I'd get some air bubbles on the sort of shoulder pads there. So these will just let air escape from the mould as the resin pours in. Now one of the key issues I'd had before was the two halves of the mould misaligning, and I've tried various methods to get that to work correctly, but what I've seen a number of people do is just add lots and lots of keys, and it's something I hadn't really done so much with my moulds because I've been making matrix moulds, which are a type of mould with a hard case around it. I always thought that the hard case would be enough to keep the two pieces of silicone aligned, but I think what was happening with my moulds was that the fiberglass had a little bit give in it, and that was enough to allow the two halves to misalign. Additionally, because the silicone can move in its own right, there's also room there for misalignment to occur. So what I've seen people do in other videos is add a gazillion marbles and other sort of round items into the clay wall. And what that's going to do is add some keys in the two halves of the mould which will allow them to align correctly and will stop them moving about as much, and that should maintain alignment on the two halves. So that's what I'm going to do here. So I've got a load of marbles and casts of ball bearings, and you can see some rounded acorn nuts as well, and these are all casts that I've made whenever I've had some leftover resin. I've just poured that into some of these moulds, and so I've got quite a lot of these, so these are going to be really handy I think for forming my keys. Right, there you go, so I think that's looking pretty good. Got a good number of keys in there, so I think that's going to work really well. So what I can now do is come in with some foam board and just build a wall around the edges of my mould, and that's going to help contain the silicon. Right, so there we go, so that's looking pretty good. Now at the time I intended to run off a lot of casts from this mould. I had sort of designs to maybe start up an Etsy shop again. Didn't quite get around to that, as you may have noticed. But because of that, I'm using some slightly more expensive silicon to make my mould than the stuff I usually use. The stuff I usually use is a little bit cheaper, but that's absolutely fine because the moulds I'm making, generally speaking, are quite low use. But in this case, I want to be able to obviously extend the amount of casts I'm going to be able to get out of the mould. And so for that reason, I'm going to use some slightly more expensive silicon. Right, so this is a condensation cured silicon, which means that you need to add some catalyst to it to make it set. Addition cures are ones where you add 2 equal parts of part A and part B. This is one with which uses catalyst. So this needs a 10% mix, so I'm just weighing that out. Now let's make sure I've mixed this for a good few minutes, but all that mixing does introduce air into the silicon, so I'm going to degas it here as well to get rid of any air bubbles. Okay, so I can now pour that over my sculpture. And what I've done is just to pour a little bit on first off. What I want to do is just make sure that this flows into all of the details. This particular sculpture's got lots and lots of sort of organic detail in there, and I just want to make sure that it gets into all of the gaps in the monster clay there. So once I was happy that I'd sort of covered all the detail, I can now come in and fill up the rest of the mould. Okay, so I've now left that overnight, and I can now come and remove my my foam board and turn the mould over. So as you can see, we've got a bit of mess here, but I can now come in and remove my clay and start cleaning that up. And this is why I put the cling film on at the beginning. And as you can see, this face of the sculpture is covered by that, and so it's not covered in clay. So that'll just aid in cleanup. So I've now come outside to the garden with a garden hose, and like I said, because this clay is water based, I can just use water to blast that away and clean up the sculpture. Right, so there we go, so that's looking a little bit better. These bits here that you can see are some bits of silicon which have managed to creep in under my clay wall and come down to the front half of the sculpture. So I'm just being careful to slowly peel those away so I don't damage the sculpture as I do so. They're only thin, so it's not too bad. However, because this sculpture was one of those that I made with melted blobs of monster clay, it's sort of been pieced together almost in a kind of a collage, and so there are some gaps in between those pieces on the sculpture. So the silicone has sort of crept in between them in certain places. So I'm just being careful that I don't pull the sculpture apart when I pull those away. So I can also now come in and remove my keys from the silicone, so you can see me doing that there. Well, this is all now cleaned up, and I'm almost ready to add the second layer of silicone to create the second half of the mould. What I need to do though is add something to the silicone so the two halves don't stick together. Now you can buy various sprays which will do this, but I always have relied on Vaseline, and what I do is brush that onto the silicone. I think I just find that a little bit better in that I can be sure that I've actually covered all of the surface because I'm sort of physically going through with the brush and doing it. With the spray it's a little bit less clear which bits you've got, and so for that reason I don't kind of fully trust it if I'm using a spray. So yeah, I'm just brushing on some of the Vaseline here as a separating agent. Right, now that that's ready I can come back in with my foam board, put that back in place, and I'll be ready to add the second batch of silicone. Now I did have a few undercuts in this model, And so what I'm doing here is just adding another piece of foam board on the front, and the reason that's there is just so I can move the model at a certain angle, just to make sure that the silicon gets into those undercuts when I pour it in. And you can see me adding some clay around the edges there as well. That's just so silicon doesn't creep down the edges of the existing silicon piece. Right, so that's now set, so I can now take away the foam board. Okay, so here's the moment of truth. I'm just sort of slowly prizing that apart. Okay, so the sculpture's come out in one piece, so that's good. And there's the mould, not looking too bad, I think. Right, so I'm going to do my first test cast. So what I'm doing is adding some baby powder into the mould, and that just helps sort of break the surface tension of the resin and allows it to flow into all the detail. Because I've got all this organic detail in the piece, there's the possibility of air bubbles, so I just want to do all I can to eliminate the risk of those. Okay, so just pouring my resin there. And I can see it coming out the air channel, so that's a good sign. And initial thoughts of that looks pretty good. I do have some air bubbles on the tentacles on the front though. But the rest of it looks pretty good, and as you can see the mould separation lines on the sculpture aren't particularly significant, so that's pretty good I think. I should be able to lose them just with a little bit of sanding. Right, so I'm just going to have another go at this, but this time I'm going to put the mould in the pressure chamber and let that set under pressure, and that should hopefully eliminate those air bubbles. Right, there we go, so that's a lot better. You can see that the tentacles on the front are now fully filled in. Looks like I do have a little bit of an air bubble still on the bottom, but that's not too much of a problem. I'll be able to fill in that pretty easily. Okay, so now that I've got a cast, I can now come in and start painting this. And what I wanted to do was kind of a subtle kind of paint job on this basically. I want to retain the original colour of the resin because that's sort of skin-like already. And what I want to do is just slowly tint it with various oil colours. So I'm just coming in with some red initially, trying to give that a bit of an organic look. And it's important with organics to sort of have some blues and greens in there as well, so I'm just sort of trying to vary this up. And once I've got those in place, I can then come in with some washes to just really bring out the detail of the piece. Now, as I said, this is one that I kind of stalled on a little bit, and the reason for that was because I couldn't really get a decent paint job. But I came back a little bit later and had another go, and then, as you've seen in the intro, this is what I come up with, and I think this looks pretty decent. It's quite organic and sort of gruey and evil looking, so I'm quite pleased with that. But also quite pleased with the mould as well. So I hope this was interesting. You know, seeing how other people make moulds, I always find is quite interesting because everyone sort of does it in a slightly different way. So it's always interesting to see how other people tackle the problems that you encounter yourself. So that's it for this one. Thanks very much for watching. I'll see you next time.